the headlines for this hour of VTV News. National Assembly begins Q&A session. And green consumption's key driver for advancing green production. And in our news, U.S. Secretary of the State meets with Palestinian Authority.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. Under the chairmanship of National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ, the National Assembly commenced a question and answer session on Monday morning. The session will span over 2.5 days. Chairman Vương Đình Huệ stated that this is the first time in the 15th term and the fourth time overall that the National Assembly has questioned government members and industry leaders regarding the implementation of the National Assembly's resolutions on specialized supervision topics in various fields. Through these supervisions, the National Assembly aims to gain a comprehensive understanding of the progress and outcomes in the implementing the National Assembly's resolutions, as well as the fulfillments of promises and commitments made by the government, ministers, and heads of industry. Furthermore, the National Assembly intends to report to the voters and the public on the action taken to address the issue raised by the National Assembly. The questioning process will cover 4 groups of fields, which include general economics, sectoral economics, justice, internal affairs, and culture and society. During the first 2 years of the 15th term, the questioning activities have been conducted with enthusiasms and transparencies, thereby enhancing the accountability of leaders in addressing existing limitations. Following the opening session, National Assembly deputies questioned government members and head of sectors regarding the implementation of specific resolutions during the 14th tenure, as well as various related solutions adopted since the start of the 15th tenure. More to follow.
Some deputies of the National Assembly have suggested clarifying the reasons for the delay in issuing guidelines for practicing savings, combating waste, and managing public assets effectively. They also proposed finding solutions to address these issues.
The legislation regarding the management of public assets, finances, and land still lack consistency. What measures has the minister taken to expedite the issuance?
We are suggesting revisions to the law on public asset management to the National Assembly and the Standing Committee. Our goal is to address gaps in the current legislation, specifically the process of converting assets into public property. We have also presented these proposed changes to the Prime Minister.
Some National Assembly deputies expressed concerns about the allocation of regular expenditures, as well as the issue of supply and demand in social housing.
The content of the public investment law states that all new construction, renovation, and upgrading projects must be funded by public funds, which overlaps with the provisions of the state budget law. What is the solution to this issue?
It's not just the public investment law, the state budget law is also a factor. Repair and upgrade projects are progressing smoothly. Only new investments need to comply with the public investment law provisions. The government is proposing to the National Assembly that these projects be carried out from regular expenditures, and we are waiting for the National Assembly's decision.
The National Assembly has responded to the government, clarifying that there is no specific monetary threshold that defines regular expenditures and public investment. Even though we spend hundreds of trillions on salaries and education, these expenses are still considered regular expenditures. This shows that the nature of these expenditures is not determined by their monetary value. After a comprehensive review, the National Assembly has reached the initial conclusion that there are no issues with the state budget law.
During the question and answer session, deputies also inquired about the disbursement of the credit support package for social housing projects. The state bank governor pointed out that the current limitations are related to the supply of housing programs, individual loan demands, and the criteria for social housing policies.
In the past 10 months, the European Union (EU) has issued nearly 3,900 food safety warnings for imported agriculture and food products. Out of these, only 55 warnings were issued for agriculture products and food from Vietnam. This number has decreased by about 15% compared to last year. The product group that received the most warnings is vegetables and fruits, with 23 cases, followed by seafood products, confectionery, and other processed products. Among these, violations due to chemical residuals accounts for the highest number at nearly 60%. According to regulations on food safety and disease safety, the EU reviews all enterprises exporting agriculture and food products every 6 months. If regulations are followed properly, the frequencies of inspections and regulations for imported Vietnamese agriculture and food products will be reduced. In addition to expediting the disbursements of public investment capital, localities have an urgent task for completing the 2023 budget collection in line with the target set by the Ministry of Finance. Compared to 2022, the budget revenue target assigned to localities in the regions has increased by 5 to 10% this year. Alongside the implementation of 100% electronic tax declaration, the tax industries in the Mekong Delta is also deploying various smart payment applications to prevent revenue loss. To effectively collect the budget, localities are actively implementing policies to support individuals and businesses, such as land rent exemptions and tax reductions, tax fee reductions, and increased loans to promote productions and business. Green consumption refers to the practice of purchasing eco-friendly products that do not harm human health. It has gained popularity in urban areas in recent years, but how is it perceived among rural consumers? We'll explore that in this report.
These definitions of green and sustainable products are important to housemakers because they are safe for a baby's skin and offer the natural scent of fruits.
Green and clean are my top priorities, especially when it comes to babies. It is essential that the products do not have any adverse effects on their skin.
I prioritize environmentally friendly products, even if they are 5 to 10% more expensive than the common products. This factory provides over 4,000 tons of products to the market and automates most of its production processes to minimize the workforce. This approach is aimed at achieving green production and reducing emissions. Additionally, the factory aims to improve product quality by placing more emphasis on selecting raw materials.
The amount of natural ingredients in our soap bars or laundry detergent is over 90%. We are conducting research on using raw materials extracted from palm or coconut oil as the primary source to produce environmentally friendly and fully biodegradable laundry detergent.
The raw materials used to produce our products are environmentally friendly, mostly of natural origin. We also utilize green technology in our production process to minimize the generation of hazardous waste and its impact on the environment.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade has also announced plans to implement programs aimed at promoting sustainable consumption in the near future.
Circular agriculture is an innovative approach that saves on production costs and boosts the value of agriculture products. Collaborative partnerships in circular agriculture will help leverage strength for the shared growth of the industry.
These 40,000 pigs are raised using advanced automated technology. After 4 months, their biological bedding is turned into organic fertilizer, which is then sold to organic farmers at a rate of 500 tons per month. Since implementing this organic fertilizer, the dragon fruit orchard has also experienced higher yields.
In the near future, we will increase fertilizer productivity by expanding our herd. Our closed-loop system allows us to have control over both the input and output, making herd growth essential for achieving higher production.
The high-tech circular agriculture supply chain model, based on mutual strengths, brings benefits to livestock businesses and farmers. Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province is at the forefront with its 7 high-tech agricultural zones, leading the way towards sustainable green agriculture and a circular economy.
Farmers should be supported with flexible payment options. Quick payments should be provided for short-term crops, while long-term crops should receive sustained support to facilitate access to organic fertilizers.
We need to scale up this economically efficient model. The provincial government has approved policies to establish initiatives for expanding these models throughout the province.
The shift towards organic and circular agriculture is a significant agricultural strategy. Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province is actively pursuing this transition by assessing and improving models to make them exemplary. Ultimately, their goal is to promote the sustainable growth of circular agriculture.
Vietnam is expected to achieve a record high in rice export this year. The Ministry of Industry and Trade forecasts that Vietnam will export approximately 8 million tons of rice, generating a turnover of around $4.5 billion. In the past 10 months, Vietnam has already exported over 7 million tons of rice, valued at nearly $4 billion. This represents a 17% increase in volume and 35% increase in value compared to the same period last year. The sharp increase in rice prices since August can be attributed to various factors, including the rice export ban imposed by India and other countries. It is predicted that export rice prices will remain high. Looking ahead to next year, the rice market is expected to remain vibrant as certain countries increase their imports to ensure food security. And before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at foreign exchange rate for today, November 6th. Coming up next on VTV News, locals preserve mangrove forest to create a bird sanctuary. And free art class for children with autism. The Standing Committee of the Vietnam for the Left Front Central Committee, in coordination with the Vietnam Journalists Associations and Vietnam Televisions, launched and organized the 4th National Press Award Ceremony for the Prevention of Corruption and Negativity in 2022-2023. The chairman of the Central Committee of the Vietnam Fatherland Front, Đỗ Văn Chiến, and the secretary of the party Central Committee and head of the Central Propaganda Department, Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa, attended the ceremony and awarded prizes to the winning authors. In congratulating the award-winning authors and author groups, Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa emphasized the responsible work spirit, commitment, and bravery of newspaper journalists behind the honors works. He also proposed a continued deep understanding of the direction set by Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng regarding the prevention of corruption and negativity. Additionally, he called for further promotions of the role of social supervisions and criticisms, which strongly reflects and criticizes the instances of pushing, evading responsibility, and fear of work among certain officials and party members. A policy that aims to be implemented in real life not only needs to be feasible in practice, but also requires political will. The same principle applies to the New Style Rural Building Program. By following the right approach, establishing an appropriate roadmap for addressing each criterion and gaining the consensus of the people, we can achieve rapid and sustainable expansions. Our next story is from a commune in Pleiku City, Gia Lai Province.
Gao Commune, previously known for having the highest rate of poor households in Pleiku City, is now recognized for its success in building new-style rural areas in Gia Lai. This success is attributed to effective business organization and efforts to renovate roads and infrastructure. Thanks family, which used to live in poverty, has experienced significant improvements in their quality of life thanks to the policy of providing households with cows and seedlings.
Thanks to the support from authorities at all levels, my family now has 5 cows for breeding. I am sincerely grateful to the local government and the state for their assistance.
Since there are convenient roads and electricity, people are able to earn much higher incomes and are generally happier.
The quality of life for many households in Gao Common has improved. Currently, the average income per person exceeds $1,800 per year. In the area, there are only 15 households classified as poor and 51 households classified as near poor.
In the future, Pleiku City will prioritize allocating all available resources to support the commune in overcoming poverty and fostering its development in alignment with other localities within the city.
Gao Common has currently achieved 14 out of 19 targets in the set of New Style Rural criteria. The local objective is to establish genuinely sustainable criteria that directly benefit the people rather than merely pursuing achievements. Zalai Province is studying successful models and allocating resources to effectively implement the New Style Rural Building Program.
The Laptian Bird Garden in Bạc Liêu Province is a captivating ecotourism destination. Scientists have evaluated this place as having the largest number of bird species in the region. When visiting here, tourists will be overwhelmed by the sight of free-flying birds. More on this in the following story.
The population of nesting storks in this area has been steadily increasing for almost 30 years. The place is now bustling and noisy day and night. The 20 hectares of mangroves, originally intended for firewood, have been preserved by Phie ever since the bird flocks returned.
I could have made lots of money by selling mangroves, but I chose not to. The birds can also be sold for a significant amount of money, but I choose not to capture them.
The profit from mangrove forest, as well as shrimp, crab, and fish farming, is decreasing day by day. Despite the challenging livelihood, people in this riverine area remain dedicated to nurturing the birds. However, the birds have never had to bear the burden of repaying the kindness and care they have received from people.
We are happy to see many birds flying around. We have never expected to get rich from them.
In the past, we didn't derive any benefits from the birds, and people would ask us why we kept them. Now they can contribute to ecotourism, and we are truly happy.
Phie patrols every night to safeguard the birds from theft. A fertile land not only provides them with a place to roost, but also brings special happiness to the local people.
The Sum Singing Festival, scheduled from November 4th to 6th, has garnered significant attention this year. It has attracted the participation of approximately 200 artists, artisans, actors, and instrumentalists from 20 clubs representing over 10 provinces and cities. This is the largest number of participants on record for the festival. The instrumentalists and artists performing here span a wide range of ages, from young children to the elderly, and come from all over the country. This diversity is a positive sign. Ninh Bình is renowned as the birthplace of traditional Sum singing art. In recent years, there have been enthusiastic conservation projects and Sum teaching activities conducted at clubs within the province. Additionally, these efforts have extended to various regions throughout the country thanks to the dedication of skilled artisans. The festival aims to raise awareness among authorities at all levels and communities in order to create a national dossier to submit to UNESCO. The goal is to have Sum singing recognized and included in the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. In the heart of Ho Chi Minh City, there's a free art class specifically designed for autistic children. This class not only provides instructions in art, but also serves as a form of artistic therapy aimed at helping children with autism develop alongside their peers. The class was established by a mother who herself had a child with autism.
I initially opened this art studio for my son, who showed signs of autism spectrum disorder at 14 or 15 months. As it progressed, I decided not to limit its availability exclusively to him and extended it to other children who were similar to him.
Parents have become friends and co-instructors, providing support for their children in this unique class. In this class, children with autism are able to express their thoughts and dreams through art. It is the love and care shared among the members that bring joy and unity.
I wanted my child to attend art classes, but the costs were too high. However, the classes here are completely free, and it also feels like a family. My child really enjoys it. It helps them relieve daily stress and pressure.
The autistic children who come here are not subjected to discrimination, hurtful words, or judgmental glances. This makes me feel happy and accomplished. I am assisting the children in selecting the best drawings to be printed on shirts, which they will then sell. This allows them to earn a stable income. My objective is to provide them with a profession rather than just a place to play or socialize. They will learn to support themselves through their work.
Coming up next in our war news, U.S. Secretary of State meets with Palestinian Authority. And the future risks of frontier AI. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has extended his Middle East diplomatic tour. On Sunday, he visited the West Bank and held an hour-long meeting with Palestinian Presidents Mahmoud Abbas in Ramallah. However, neither side made any statements to the media. During the meeting, President Abbas emphasized the urgent need for a ceasefire and humanitarian aid access to Gaza. Secretary Blinken reiterated Washington's commitment to providing aid to Gaza and restoring essential services. This meeting took place a day after his visit to Israel and Jordan. His tour will continue with upcoming visit to Iraq, Syria, and Turkey to discuss the Israel-Hamas conflict. Dmitry Peskov, the press secretary for the Russian president, emphasized the importance of the U.S. and Russia resuming dialogue in a statement released on Sunday. Despite the current strains in their relationship, Peskov highlighted that both countries have a special responsibility for global and strategic stability. When asked about the conditions for leaders' meetings, Peskov stressed that willingness and desire for dialogue for both sides are essential. He mentioned that the Russian president is prepared for any meeting. In late September, the U.S. hinted that the possibility of restoring U.S.-Russia relations and holding a summit between the two presidents. The most recent meeting between Presidents Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden took place in June 2021 in Geneva, Switzerland. Top oil exporters Saudi Arabia and Russia have confirmed that they will maintain their additional voluntary oil output cuts until the end of the year. This announcement has caused an increase in Asian oil prices during Monday's trading. The Saudi Ministry of Energy has confirmed that it will continue its additional voluntary cut of 1 million barrels per day, resulting in an output of around 9 million barrels per day in December. Russia has also stated that it will reduce crude oil and petroleum product output by 300,000 barrels per day until the end of December. These decisions align with analysts' expectations, and it was predicted that Saudi Arabia would not increase its output in December nor the first quarter of the next year. Policymakers have made significant efforts to raise awareness about frontier AI systems. This term refers to advanced AI systems that some experts believe surpass human intelligence, as they can perform multiple tasks simultaneously and handle unstructured data.
Frontier AI, also known as frontier artificial intelligence. represents the cutting edge and most advanced generation of systems that push technology to uncharted territories yet to be fully explored by humans. For example, it encompasses intelligent computer systems that possess superior capabilities for detecting art forgery compared to experts. Another system has the ability to identify certain diseases before patients display specific symptoms. Frontier AI can even forecast voter behavior based on individuals' internet reading habits.
What if they just one day get a software update and they're not so friendly anymore? Then we've got a James Cameron movie on our hands.
The world needs to keep up with these developments. It poses a challenge for AI developers because the self-learning abilities of machines make it unclear who or what will ultimately control the systems they create.
I think needs to be heard and discussed more is the limits of the science regarding the safety of AI systems. Right now, we don't know how to build an AI system that will be behaving as intended, in other words, that it can be safe.
These discussions about AI control are just the beginning, and it is important to sustain this momentum in the future. South Korea will co-host an online AI summit within the next 6 months, while France has agreed to organize a dedicated AI safety summit in 1 year.
And now let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download a mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.